And welcome back, everyone, to day who knows what.
Day who knows what. It's a Sunday here at Mundaka, and what a Sunday it is.
Finally, all of the conditions reunited. Sun, offshore winds, swell. It's going to be a barn burner today, Nick.
I really suspect you might be right there, Dave Mailman. Welcome to the Billabong Pro at Mundaka for 2006. Round 2 is just starting right now. We have a slight drop in swell from yesterday. It's not quite as big and heavy, but the conditions are flawless, man. And today I think we will see some insane tube riding.
Well, and here's the first wave of the day from Hawaii's Fred Patacchia Jr. in the red singlet up against France's Mikael Picon.
Oh, man. It looks like a surf movie, huh?
Absolutely.
The shots down into the bay today, and
the mythical Mundaka left-hander has finally turned it on for everyone. This is just, well, it looks like a little section out of a flow rider out the back off the peak, and the inside is doing a mighty fine impression of restaurants.
It sure is. Just a gorgeous day for surfing, and I think the schedule this morning and through the day is for the event to run right through the remainder of round number 2. That's 9 heats. And in the first one, of course, right now in the water, Freddie Patacchia Jr. from Hawaii versus Mikael Picon from France.
The Hawaiian sitting in 20th position on the World Tour ratings. Mikael Picon in 40th position. So Fred would like to, of course, solidify his position, perhaps move into the top 16 with a good result here. And Mikael Picon is really looking for a solid result here in Mundaka to retain any hopes whatsoever of requalifying for the 2007 Foster's ASP Men's World Tour. The Frenchman sitting on 2,540 points, and Mr. Patacchia already with 3,669.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, right after that, we'll be moving through heat number 9, Greg Emsley versus David Ware. Heat 10, Sean Cansdell, Pedro Henrique. Heat 11, Travis Logie, Rani Monteiro.
Yep. Heat 12, Corey Lopez and Roy Powers. Lucky number 13, we'll see Trent Monroe, Marcelo Nunes. Heat 14, 100% a Brazilian battle between Adriano de Souza and Paulo Moura. Heat 15, Victor Ribas and Darren O'Rafferty. And the last one, Nick.
The last one, a cracker, Nathan Hedge versus Chris Ward. And I think if everything comes together, that could be the heat where we see not just an amazing surfing performance, but also perhaps the best waves of the day right there. Who knows?
Well, it's going to be on the good end of the tide, and two surfers really will be battling it out for requalification. Chris Ward currently sitting on the 27th, on the edge of the bubble, the last qualification spot for the CT. And Nathan Hedge currently an equal 33rd position. So Nathan will be looking for a solid result here in Mundaka, as will Chris Ward. So a very important heat for both of those surfers. And currently out in the water, 25-minute heats this morning. We're already 3.5 minutes into this one. Once again, Fred Patacchia and Mikael Picon, last year's Rookie of the Year, up against our French rookie. No waves surfed so far for Mickey. 2 waves for Freddie P. A 6.17 on his first wave and a 3.0 on his second. So Mickey already in the hole looking for 9.17 on his first wave to take the lead.
Well, that's right. And, you know, I've just been looking at these 9 heats here, Dave, and they all seem to me to be amazingly well balanced. So, you know, Freddie P. and Mickey in this heat, they're both fairly strong, solidly framed goofy foot surfers with really good tube sense, you know, so they're in the water together. And then Greg Emsley and David Ware, well, the 2 South African kids they've been surfing together the whole week down on the little rip bowl in the middle of the river here at high tide, and both regular foot surfers with really nimble reflexes. It's a pretty classic matchup. Sean Cansdell and Pedro Henrique, well, they might as well be almost the same bloke, but just from different continents, you know.
Pedro's maybe a touch smaller, but otherwise, yeah, both super fast, nimble surfers, and both riding for the same team. Of course, our event sponsor, Billabong.
Yeah, then Travis Logie and Raoni Montero, well, that's a battle of goofy versus regular foot, but similar kind of level of intensity in their surfing, those two guys.
Definitely very precise surfers. We saw Raoni win the Best Wave Award of the Foster's Expression Session a couple days ago in Bacchio.
Absolutely.
And Travis Logie, been seeing him on fire all year. Where is Mr. Logie in our rankings right now? I believe he moved up. Yeah, sitting in 19th, right behind Greg Emsley in 18th position. So the two South Africans having a good year on tour. Travel want to continue his winning streak. And for Raoni Montero, a very important heat. Raoni's down in the bottom end of the rankings. Currently, where is Raoni on our list? I don't know.
Raoni's right down in
38th position, yeah. So it's going to be a big one for Raoni Montero.
Oh, absolutely. Heat 12, Corey Lopez and Roy Powers, not only do they surf for the same team, O'Neill, but they kind of look alike, man.
Lanky surfers.
Sort of lanky guys, you know.
Very stylish.
Very stylish, both of them. Both able to pull some extreme moves when tempted, and they're going to have a good match up here. I think those two surfers will be really well matched in heat number 12. Heat 13, Trent Munro and Marcelo Nunes, both stocky, powerful surfers. Once again, it's a goofy versus regular matchup, that one. Trent Munro's backside surfing is renowned. He has
and will be very dangerous out here in these conditions today at Mundaka, just over head high on the inside section, and I can't wait to see Trent Munro go to town backside on these waves. And Trent, another WCT stalwart who is looking for a good result here, as he's currently sitting in 30th position. So it's going to be a big heat for Trent as well as Marcelo Nunes. Marcelo currently in 33rd. So these guys really battling for the last couple of CT qualification spots. These heats are very important, almost as important as a final for these guys.
Oh, yeah, you bet.
Heat number 14, another short, the all-Brazilian affair.
Absolutely.
Between Adriano de Souza and Paulo Moura. It's going to be a little shock of styles in that one, though.
Yeah, major contrast there. Paulo, I guess, kind of power surfer, man. You know, he's going to be front side out here. He's a really good tube rider, Paulo, and I think his career high place was at the Billabong Pro in Chopo a couple of years back. I think he got a third place there and really did a great job in the grinding barrels of Chopo that year. So, you know, as the tide comes and brings the swell onto the sandbar, he's going to be in a good position there. Of course, he's battling his very highly fancied young compatriot Adriano de Souza, who's bouncing back from a little bit of a health issue earlier in this event's waiting period. He had a kidney stone episode and was shipped off to hospital for, you know, a night or two just to kind of get over that one. He does seem to be over it, though, and he's back and surfing and ready to go.
Yes, he is. And moving on to Heat 15, another Brazilian, Victor Ribas, up against Darren O'Rafferty. Once again, these boys are on the lower end of the rankings. Darren O'Rafferty sitting in 29th position. And Victor Ribas, where is our buddy Victor, in 28th position. So both these guys on the bubble as well. So another very important heat for both those surfers, two tour veterans, Victor Ribas, former world number 3, and Darren O'Rafferty coming up in this one. Heat number 16, of course, we've already spoken a bit about, but Nathan Hedge and Chris Ward, both surfers battling for requalification, as well as for pride out here, and that's going to be one to watch. Chris Ward just barely beaten in his round 2 heat by Bruce Irons yesterday.
Yeah.
And Nathan Hedge, in their round 1 heat, excuse me, but there were only 2 of them out in the water because our injury alternate wild card, Corey Arambidi, was supposed to be in that one with them, but unfortunately missed out as he got word too late that he did have a spot in the contest. So plenty of action coming up. For right now, only 2 waves surfed in this heat. Just over 20 minutes remaining, and it is Hawaii's Fred Patacchia Jr. out in front with a 6.27 and a 3.0. There they are on your screen, Fred and Mickey, both Quicksilver team riders. A little bit of a Euro-Hawaiian rivalry, actually, between the two, even though they are teammates.
You bet. Fair bit of rivalry there, of course. Friendly rivalry, though, Dave.
Always, yes, within the same team. Now, these guys get along really well. They know each other. They've traveled a lot, been on a lot of photo shoots and Quicksilver trips together. But once they're out in the water, it's no holds barred.
All bets are off. We can see now there's a bit of a set marching down the sandbar. Beautiful wave peeling from way high up in the bowl zone. And it's going to come down and bring itself toward our competitors now. The two surfers sitting down the bay a little bit. They're waiting for the absolute cleanest possible wave to hit down there. And both seemingly in position as this wave begins to move down. Paddling now.
Looks to be
from the inside. Well, it looked like Mickey might go that one. It also looked like Fred was going to go on the inside, but the wave seemingly peaked a little bit further up the line than where they were sitting. Now it looks like Mickey might be able to pick a wave off, Dave.
Yeah, here he goes, Nick. Up and riding, Mr. Mikael Picon out of Cap-Breton, France. First little snap off the top into a floater section.
And, wow, well, the wave just really got away from him there. Extremely fast down the inside there. And, you know, Dave, I wonder if it'll be long before our surfers do, in fact, choose to head out and take off a little further up the line, because you can see now on the outside takeoff zone, which has been torn by the outgoing tide, is slowly beginning to...
Starting to clean up a
bit.
bit.
It's starting to look like a real wave.
We're getting towards the low end of the outgoing tide here today, and just a quick fact that was whispered in our ears from tour manager Renato Hickel. This is the largest tidal swing of the year here at Mundaka, so it doesn't get any more extreme between the high and low tide than it will today. But our low tide yesterday at 11:15, so today sometime around 12 noon. And from then on in, conditions should be getting a bit better. But once again, the tidal change really wreaking havoc a little bit, and will definitely be coming into play into the surfers' strategies today as how they surf the heat. Because, Nick, right now they're pretty much on the very, very end of the sandbar right now. It is clean, but definitely much more size out on the main takeoff spot.
Well, that's true, but I'm noticing now that Mikael Picon is beginning to paddle up the line. I'm wondering if he's thinking to himself, look, I've got to steal a march on Freddie P somehow here and get away from him and let myself catch my own kind of wave and not get caught up in his wave selection, because that's one way in which a savvy competitor can really tangle up his opponent. Once you've got the lead in a heat, then one of the keys is to limit the wave selection of your opponent so that he can't catch up again. And right now, Freddie Patacchia is holding wave priority. Now you can see here, this is Mickey's wave just now, off the top. You can see that beautiful sparkling long wall, but it was just a little bit long for Mickey. You know, with a slightly faster line, he might have made it round that section, Dave.
No, he very well could have. It kind of looked like got that little bend in it at the end, so it did run away from him. Now, it'd be interesting to know what Mickey is riding as far as his boards are concerned today, because he has had a few issues with choice of equipment throughout the year, and hopefully he's got a magic board under his feet. Well, this is kind of the same strategy it looked like as the Wardo Bruce heat from yesterday. Wardo started on the inside section. Bruce paddled out the back, tried to pick up a few barrels. Didn't really work for him early on, but sure paid off at the end of the heat with that 9.57. And here's Mickey, Nick.
Yeah, that's right. He's up and riding now. He's paddled up the line to get away from Freddie P, and it's paid off for him now with a looping long-walled wave here. Squeezes off a couple of top turns and a floater and finishes, and, well, it's a ride. Not a big scoring ride, but a ride nonetheless. Sets continuing to filter down from that top end of the sandbar. Yeah, really, I would imagine that the surfers are going to pretty much wake up to this over the next heat or two and go outside.
So even before the end of this one, it looks like it really is starting to get rideable all the way from out the back through that section, although it does kind of close down a little bit in the middle, but I'm sure if you can pick the right one, there's potential to score some major points out there.
It's kind of like yesterday, man. You just got to keep the hammer down on the wave and not let it get away from you.
And look at this one, Nick. Looks like Freddie P in position for this one. Here he goes, Fred Patacchia Jr.
He's having a look. There's an ominous ruffle down the line from Freddie P. He's going to really need to move, but he does so. Gets the speed going. The critical thing here at Mundaka, hacks off the top. Another turn. Really looking like he's in rhythm here today. Freddie just I think, further pushing his lead out a little bit there over Mikael Picon.
Well, definitely having it that one. 4 key down the line, fast speed turns, really technical. The wave is incredibly fast down there. That section's already pretty hollow, as you can see when Freddie goes up and snaps it off the top. He's almost looks like he's kind of free falling back down into the curve of the wave face. So 4 fast and furious turns there from Fred Patacchia.
Yeah. And now he's paddling on his way back out the back there, Freddie, and his opponent, Mikael Picon from Cap Breton, is I think is beginning to sniff that outside sections opportunity here. He's going to watch a set come right now that's going to definitely make him wake up and go. He's going to go the earliest wave. Up and riding, Mikael Picon here. Yellow jersey off the top. And again.
Another big snap. Doesn't quite have the speed that Fred does, but hey, those off the lip snaps are
nice moves.
Pretty equivalent.
But Dave, you can look outside, and I wonder if Mickey will be haunted when he turns around and sees what was behind that, because there's a really beautiful, solid wave or two moving through the Mundaka lineup now, speeding and opening up down the line. Gorgeous waves peeling down this
How's
lineup
that
right
water
now.
shot, man? Absolute. Looks like a perfect reef break out there, doesn't it, Nick?
Yeah, in fact, it's a perfect rear mouth break. Oh, my goodness. Freddie Patacchia down the line. Looks like he's going to go the end section. It won't be a really super long ride. Once again, with that ominous flutter up ahead of him, Freddie opens it up and tries to get a bit of speed going. Floats for speed there. Rather than just doing a hack, he does a bit of a floater and then finishes nicely with another off the lip.
Re-entry. Well, Freddie is definitely putting the pressure on Mickey's second wave of 4.0. The last wave of Fred Patacchia, 7.5, or second to last wave. See what the judges thought of that last one, but currently Fred out in front with a 6.17 and a 7.5, and could be even extending his lead after that last wave. Here's the replay, Nick.
Well, that's right, and you can see here.
Or is this Mickey?
This is
Mickey's wave.
Now, you're going to see the difference between the two surfers here in this particular heat, okay? Mickey, beautiful succession of turns, but really what he's doing here is repeating the same turn over and over again, the same kind of top turn, driving off the bottom and off the top. Very straightforward kind of rotational turn. Finally gets in a bit of an off the lip at the end there. If we can get a replay of Freddie's last ride, you'll see a clear difference between the types of performances these surfers are putting on today anyway. We'll wait and see for it, though.
See if they can bring us up the replay. There you can see the end section of the sandbar here at Mundaka today.
Surf is...
here's Freddie's.
Oh, here we go. Now check Freddie out and see what he does. He draws a fast line, okay? Gets it going. Damn, we've gone down, man.
Just shuts it off.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back with you with a bit of a replay of Freddie's wave, and we'll be able to identify one of the things which I think is going to make a difference in heat after heat today, not just in this one, but in further heats.
Well, Nick, this is going to be interesting. A 6.33 for that last 5 off the lip wave of Mikael Picon, and a 6.33 for the last wave of Fred Patacchia. So... I don't know. Fred had, 3 big maneuvers on his wave. Mickey had 5. So, as you were saying, Freddie's turns are scoring more points than Mickey's, but I would have expected maybe a little bit more difference between the 2 wave scores than that.
Yeah, would have thought so. See, typically what the judges are going to do as the day goes on, especially, and they begin to really open up the scoring range, what you're going to see is that the surfer who can produce a variety of moves is going to score the big points. It's not about repetition anymore at this level of professional surfing. You can do the same turn down the line 100 times, and really it's only ever going to earn you X amount of points.
And Mickey needing a 7.51 as we cut over to GT. From GT, we don't have his audio, so we're back to the booth with Dave and Nick, and we'll bring you back to GT as soon as we can. In the meantime, Nick, there's a set coming in. Mickey is out the back.
Mickey is so out the back, man. He's turning, and he's going.
This could be a really good one for Mickey Picon. He's
It's
a 7.51. Ooh, just doesn't have the speed to make it past that section.
The thing is, you got to watch for the slight flutter in the lip ahead of you at Mundaka and make a judgment call. Quite a quick one. Do you think that means it's going to shut down that next section, or if it's going to
you're watching the
up?
inside section of this one as it just peels away. Mickey would have loved that wave.
Yeah, that's right.
And
well, I think this time we are going to actually cross to GT, and let's hope the mic's working this time, Sunshine.
All right. Hey, good morning. Sorry about that. Little technical difficulties this morning here. Buenos dias or shakas from Mundaka. GT here. Just give you a little set of the day. Day 7 of the contest waiting period, and it is an absolute beauty of a morning. Hard offshore winds. The waves at this time are way better than they were yesterday at this time. Tidal swing today, 15 feet. Low tide at noon, so it's still going out. High tide at 6:10 p.m. And I have event director, Mr. Mike Parsons, contest director. Good morning, brother.
Good morning, bro.
All right, so Snips, first of all, let's talk about kind of your decision to go this morning. It was the good one.
Yeah, I mean, we had to wait a little bit this morning. You got to be pretty patient here. The tide was just flowing out like a river. It's finally settled down a little bit, so we were able to get things started. We're still in round number 2, early days, only up to heat 8, so we're hoping to complete 9 heats today. But beautiful morning here at Mundaka. We got the wind switched completely from yesterday. It's a southeast direction now, blowing through the valley, hard offshore. We might see some really good barrels, especially when the tide turns, like you said, at noon and starts to come back up.
Well, and one of the big events within the event here is the Nixon Tube Time award. It's a $10,000 porcelain watch with 3 diamonds, 3 sapphires, and 3 rubies. Right now, Tom Whitaker is winning that event within the event with a 4-second barrel. But Snips, like you said, as that tide picks up and it kind of goes off the ledge, we could probably see something a little longer than that.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance we will, because we got the wind that's really keeping the barrel open. So the swell has dropped a little more in the 4-foot range today, but we saw an incredible tube ride from Bruce Irons yesterday on about a 4-footer. So with any luck, the Nixon Tube Time definitely come into play today. Well, hopefully we'll see some really good barrels here at Mundaka.
Now, yesterday we ran till about 5 o'clock, which was, we really got some business done yesterday. Are you optimistic that we can run that long today?
Well, swell being a little bit smaller and just as big of a tide, the tide's, an hour later, the high. So if we get through this round, I'll be really stoked if we can get through 9 heats. We had to give the guys an extra 5 minutes today in the heats. They're 30 minutes. We're going to see how the first few heats go, and then we may knock it back to 25 if the consistency's there. So hopefully we can, get to around 5 o'clock again today and have another full day of surfing, and at least get through round 2.
Well, if it is half as fun as it looks right now, the surfers are going to have a good go of it. And what will happen is, as the surfers are kind of sitting down in the end, what will happen is they'll slowly move up top as the tide kind of becomes a factor. Now, boys in the truck, if you guys can kind of show the shot, can you, Carlos, pan down here and just show? You can see Greg Emsley heading out into his next heat. At high tide, this whole basin, if you will, is completely filled in. We're talking about a 15-foot variance. And then this sandbar over here, as you pan across, it's just incredible how much the fill happens. But what we'll do is, it sounds like there might be a set coming in. So, Mike, thanks for joining us, my brother, and good luck in your contest call today. And we're going to send it back to the tower to Dave Mailman and Nick Carroll. Thank you.
Okay, well,
Mickey Picon up and riding.
Shakadelic out the side there for Mickey Picon. You could see him wait for that wave, and very patiently. And he's a really nice little barrel. Drew a line through it, and he's drawn Freddie Patacchia out there with him now, out to the further takeoff zone. Once you're out there, okay, there's a couple of challenges, isn't there, mate?
There definitely is. Well, first off, once you get out at the top of the break here on the sandbar, that's where the tide, the outgoing tide, is the strongest right now. For the most points, it's the only section of the wave right now offering up that tube section. Mickey slipped into a nice one there. He's looking for a 7.51 on that one. Still waiting for the judges' scores to come in, but there we go. Mickey kind of showed the way to Freddie P, and it's going to be interesting.
Now he's got a bit of luck. He's come on down the line and gets another little barrel, but this time I don't think he's going to make it out of that second ride.
Squeak out of that one.
No.
And Nick, this one's gone quickly. We are down to 5 minutes and 15 seconds remaining. Mickey's still needing a 7.51. We're still waiting, of course, for the scores on his last waiver. He got that sweet little cover up and then strung it together with a couple more maneuvers. And Freddie P now out on the peak, but in that outgoing tide and just having to keep the paddling through that flow rider section.
Yeah.
So,
very quick heats today, 25 minutes. There's obviously plenty of waves coming through to pull that kind of stuff, but it also makes it really critical as to where you do go on this sandbar, because you move off the right spot on the sandbar, you get yourself in the wrong point, you could waste 5-10 minutes waiting for a wave in the wrong point.
Well, as we saw three-time world champ Andy Irons do yesterday, just sat out on the peak and bodyboarded his way along that flow rider section for about 10 minutes.
Totally.
And once again, the largest tidal swing of the year here in Mundaka today. So, like yesterday, conditions changed every 15 minutes. Today, it's going to be every 10.
Well, we can see now Fred Patacchia thinks he's got hold of something here. He's paddling. He's quite deep on this wave. He's going to need to accelerate, but instead he tries to pull in. Now he moves. Very fast line there by Freddie P, but it's not going to be enough. He's going down right through the centre of that section. Comes up, failing to negotiate the tube section there. I dare say, though, push of the tide, that section is going to come alive for a lot of these surfers.
Well, I think that's right where all of the latest entries of the Nixon Two-Time Award are going to come into play, because that section is absolutely going to be throating as soon as the tide turns around and starts pushing its way back into the Mundaka estuary and the river mouth of the Urdabaya River.
Well, I guess that's another of the tricks with the tide there. The fact that because we're in the corner of a giant bay here at Mundaka, we're kind of tucked away in the corner of a giant bay, the incoming tide will push the swell as well. So it's not just that the sandbar will gain its true form, it's also that the swell that's hitting the sandbar will probably come up a couple of feet.
Exactly. Well, like we saw yesterday, it was 4 foot in the morning and 8 foot through the middle of the afternoon. So, and judges scores in for that second to last wave of Mickey, a 7.53. So Mikael Picon has taken the lead off of Fred Patacchia. Freddie now sitting out the back looking for a 6.37. And who would be, and would Mickey be sitting on priority as well, or has Freddie got priority? Looks from the position in the lineup that Fred has priority.
No, Mickey definitely has wave priority right now. And in fact, in the closing moments of this heat, you can see that Mickey's using a little strategy here on Freddie. He's sitting a little bit further in. That means that if Fred catches a wave, Mickey can shut him down. He can just take off on it, and Freddie will get scored in interference. So Fred has to kind of like play it by ear here. He has to hope that if there's a set, that Mickey chooses a wave in that set and then leaves him the better wave. He's playing catch-up now big time. All of a sudden, this heat's rhythm has changed, and it was really just
turned on its head.
It was just because of Mickey's decision to paddle out onto the outside bar there and just get a little barrel. That's one of those things that can turn a heat around. Bam.
Well, maybe he has a little audio hookup from the internet, and he heard you talking about the best scoring potential being farther out the sandbar this morning, Nick.
Right, yeah, get out the back.
You were using ESP for him, weren't you?
Yeah, never know. The mysterious powers of the professional surfer, right?
Yeah, and with 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining, this one is really becoming critical. Mickey knows he needs a big result here. Freddie P sitting 20th in the rankings, so he's more or less sure to be requalified, but Mickey definitely needs to scratch his way up from his equal 40th position.
That's right. Well, here we go. There is a set moving toward their takeoff area. Both surfers have seen it. They're both kind of beginning to move anxiously around here. How many waves will be in this set, and who will catch what? Mickey is still sitting deeper and closer in than Fred, and looks like he's going to paddle for this one.
They're both paddling for this one, so Freddie's going to force Mickey to take off on this. There's exactly 1 minute remaining.
Oh, look at this wave, man. It's really fast. Mickey beginning to open up and get down the line. You feel like maybe this is the wave that he chose his surfboard for.
Yep.
A bigger, longer wave, gets a little tube off the top, and that was a great finishing ride there from Mikael Picon. You can only imagine that he increased his lead with that ride. How long have we got to go, Dave?
We have 39 seconds remaining, Nick.
Just enough time for another wave then.
Mickey is looking to replace a 6.33 on that last one to extend his lead over Fred Patacchia, who's now all alone out in the lineup with 30 seconds remaining, looking for a 6.37.
Oh man, I
Still-
don't know if he's going to have time. There is another set approaching, but I don't think it's going to reach him before the 30 seconds.
And no, situation has just changed. That last wave of Mickey, an 8.67, Nick.
Boom.
So the judges love that one, and leaving Fred Patacchia with 8 seconds to find an 8.7. Don't think that's going to happen. And Mikael Picon moving through to round 3 of the Billabong Pro Mundaka. So